And the only condition I have is that you've done 2 sports. So don't do all 3 in the same sport. That's the only condition I put on it. My interest is that you are going across the categories, but you're also applying it into at least 2 different sports. One in each sport is fine as well, but you're doing that analysis and you're using that template and you're working with a partner. Does that all make sense? And so obviously there'll be some feedback on this middle one, and coming up, if you come early for a class on the Friday, for instance, this week, you can do it then, but the following Friday, the week Friday, there is no class. You can come and do it in class time, but there won't be anybody that you have to come and see like me as an instructor.
When's the next one due?
So that will be due 2 days after that. So that'll be on the Sunday.
On the 12th, okay.
Yeah. So then I can mark it a ready break and then we just get to the last assignment to finish up. Okay, which I'll talk about in a sec and get your feedback on what I'm thinking that will be. Does that all work for everybody? Is that good? So that'll be the final one, and do it just like you did the last one. It'll be awesome. The culminating thing for everybody will be that all these things you've done will go into a portfolio, which is going to be in portfolios, and I'll show you how to do that. And basically, because I've made it in Google Slides, it's just you plug it in, and then you go to the text box and you reflect on it. So it's a very easy technology part, but then you have it for the next 5, 10, 15 years to access. So if you're ever going to be teaching or trying to help it, you'll have access to all this material, the course I put on, plus what you've done with your analysis. My goal is that you can remember, right? That you learn how to play or teach someone else. Is that good? The final assignment, the shape of what I'm looking at is I want to see those first 3 videos when you first played in the course, and then basically before now and the end of the term, we'll get a video of you playing, and they'll be in a tournamental atmosphere, so you'll actually put everything together, and there'll be a comparison between the 2. And the one biomechanics will be, and you can decide today, or tell me if you just want the option, like we did in badminton, a shot with a mechanical analysis. We've done green and red arrows pointing where you think you're doing well compared to a pro, 1 in each sport. Or you could take 1 stroke, like I'm going to get you doing today, and analyze it from the preparation, wind up, fourth generation, and recovery. And analyze that in 3 phases. Do you think either one or choice? What do you think?
Choice.
People understand what I mean when I said just what I said there? Does that make sense? Maybe I'll show you an example. If this is working, I'll just show you an example of what it looks like, what I'm thinking. So the idea is the last assignment, my goal is that you would show something around biomechanical analysis. So what I'm looking at here is when we did the biomechanics for the badminton, what you did was 1 shot deal, and as you started playing with it, I'm going to go through this in a sec, but I'll just show the example. You did this, right, with 1 shot. So you could do the one part of the skill that you want to highlight, and do that 3 times, once in each of the sports, option 1. Or the other option, which is what I just played with today, and we'll do this in biomechanics, is you can do it for 1 stroke. I'm doing the forehand slice, and you can do it in 3 phases, like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We'll do this today and get you catch so you can actually do it. So I know you can do it and it's free, but you could then have an ability possibly to use whatever you do today. It could be used, I suppose, right? But either way. Does that make sense, Taya, Cecilia? Does that make sense?
So we're choosing between doing one like action between all 3 sports, or different sports?
I think I'll give you the choice. All I'm interested in is you're applying biomechanics.
Yeah.
Right? So you could take 3 shots in different, doing a forehand or doing overhead, say, in every single sport, and then compare it and do at the 4th generation part and do an analysis. But different sports, same stroke. Or same stroke, 3 phases.
Yeah.
What I want is biomechanic analysis, and so you're starting to play with those terms. That's all I'm after. Does that make sense? Is that good? Excellent. Okay, that is my goal. And bearing in mind, it's the first time I've done this course, so I am. If you find it's too difficult, you can tell me. I will adjust. Right? But I think now you, on top of that, and last class you seem to be having a lot of fun with that. Right? And I think some videos, especially the ones on Instagram, I was quite impressed. And I thought if anybody sees what we're doing, it looks good. Right? So publicly, we're doing a good job. Okay. Now, managers, what you've got in front of you is a ranking sheet. So on the sheet, I'll just show everybody in the class so they get a sense of what we're talking about. What I'm after on the ranking sheet is to actually, can I download this one? Download it. Oh, there it is, up there. You can see it. Is in your team, I'm using like the Special Olympics or Paralympics where players have point value. So the idea is in any one of your team, you're going to have rankings, your top player to your not as good as a top player, going all the way down, but you'll work for point value. So the idea of the point value is you can't field a team unless you meet the points restriction. So it means you can't just pull your best players out. You have to distribute your players, and you have to have everybody in your team playing either once or twice, depending on how many rounds we do.
So you're saying, like, if I was really good at tennis, I would be level 3, and you can only have like one level 3 playing tennis. You can't have 3 level 3s.
Well, what I've done down here is there's a point system, right?
Right.
So depending on how many matches we play, and we're going to discuss that in a second,
Okay.
the points is you're constricted by the point value, and that everybody has to play either twice or once. So when you field a team, you make sure everybody gets to play. But my goal is, by doing this, when you're only going to play a level 3 player from the other team. Plus, we have the handicap scoring system as well. My goal as instructor to make it close. I want you to have a memorable outcome. Even if you want to lose, you could have won.
Right, so I at a level 1 wouldn't play Ethan at a level 3.
No.
Sick.
Right? But in the doubles, there's going to be a mixture, right? You can only be 2 level 1s. You're going to have to make 4 points. So you're going to have 2 2s or a 1 and 3. Right? So the doubles is also mixing up the abilities. Yes,
So
Ethan.
what if no one is like a level 3 in tennis? And that, like,
Well, you're going to have to
someone-
self-rank. You have to look at your team and decide where you think your rankings are.
Okay.
Right? And you can do it provisionally now, and then if you want to, between now and before we start talking, you might move them around a bit, that's fine. There's always a pre-ranking, and if you do this, like in the States, they have state and value. I've played on teams where I was number 1 for a lot of time, and then just for the final, we actually won the Canada Nationals. They made me 3. We stacked the team, right? Because we had one guy at 3, who could beat me sometimes because he'd play up his head, but mostly I'd always beat him. But, you know, in practice, he beat me. So I said, we'll make him 1. He lost. On number 2, split sets, I won. At 3, number 4 won, and number 5 won. And then in the doubles, we just squeaked it out, and we won 5-4. So by stacking the order, you sometimes, right? But there's always this debatable. So that's, the ranking is reasonable, but you play with rankings.
I have a question. Is the rankings for each sport, or is it one for all the sports?
Each sport.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
I know, I haven't shown you yet, but that's a very good question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're in the team now. I want you to relocate to your manager and realize you're playing for the team, and realize, I try to do it as rough, like ranking, you know, level 3 recreational, 3 club standard tournament player. I'm just giving you a sense of description. But the idea is you're all going to play, and the ranking makes sure you play someone of a similar value. Every game you win or every point you get is a point for your team. So if you lose 4-2, you gain 2 points for your team. And because of the handicap system, it's always going to be quite close. Most years I've had this, it ends up being like 1 point or 1 game difference between one team or the other who wins. It's that tight when you play so many games. All right? So everything you do will matter. That's the idea. Any questions on that? So can you now relocate? Managers, put your hands up. Right? Relocate to the manager. We haven't got...
I haven't seen a pencil opener for it. It's so long.
That's it. Okay. So managers, call your team in. Call them in. Go and join your manager. Sort out your rankings. Put the name of your team at the top, please.
I don't have a single pen.
If they're not here, decide where you think they should be. Thinking on this, and like Macy come up with a creative idea. All right. So now we have 3 sports. We have 4 teams. Okay. So that means that when you play, you're going to play every other team. Okay. So if we did that separately, that would be 6 different rounds. Or if we paired up teams playing, we can do it in 3 rounds. Ideally, I like having umpires because it makes it really exciting. But we don't have enough players to have umpires if we have too many people playing. See what I mean? So I just want you to think about what you want what you think is best.
Can we have guest umpires?
You can sub in people if you get sick.
No, I mean like we bring people that.
You could be. Yes, definitely. So the field house, we have 2 tennis courts on their own, nicely in zone 1. Good for, you can have 1 singles or 2 singles there, a doubles or a singles. And on the court next door to that, you have another tennis court, but you also have 4 pickleball courts. So on that Friday, we can run team playing tennis to another team playing pickleball, right? So that is possible to run at the same time, right?
Right.
To save time. So in the hour on the Friday, an hour and a half like lesson, hour and 40 minutes lesson, we could probably run games if we don't have too many matches. So if we have too many games, like if we have 4 playing pickleball, there's no one free, basically. There'll be 1 person free, 3 singles and 1 doubles, there'll be 1 person free. Ethan.
I feel like most of what our team talked about is that we don't really want to play singles if we're playing in a tournament style. We want to play with our classmates because it makes it more fun.
I agree.
So I feel like most of us don't want to play singles unless it's like really like a challenging like finals scenario.
Yeah, if it's a finals, we can do
Yeah.
singles, but doubles, less chance.
Less chance to mess up and more time to play for the rest of the teams.
And it's like the social aspect of it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm happy. That's why I'm preaching. Okay, I'm more thinking of timing. Right? I'm in my head scheduling it. Right? I run a desk. When I've done this in the past with 1 sport, it works great because it goes out. I mean, Ryan's done it with me, right? We go out, score it, bring it back in.
Right.
It works night, and the officials all scoring it. Beautiful. But if we want everybody to play and want to get across 3 sports in 2 classes, having umpires and everybody playing becomes more difficult, right? If you play, so if we play 2 doubles, for instance, that's 4 players. That leaves 2 left over. You could umpire in another game, but then there's always going to be short, right? 2 doubles, which actually would work. 2 doubles. So you could have 2 doubles, and then there's umpires to the other team. That's one way, 2 left over. Or you could have 1 doubles, 1 singles, or 2 doubles and 1 singles. I mean, that's why I'm giving you the thought process.
Maybe certain sports can be doubles, like I think pickleball would be great for doubles.
Pickleball, good for doubles.
Maybe, I don't know,
Tennis can be singles.
one of the 3 sports.
Badminton could be singles, because it's.
So badminton is like this, right? On the Wednesday, the 29th, we have 8 badminton courts.
No doubles.
No, just
Yeah.
singles.
Do singles for badminton, tennis, or definitely pickleball doubles.
Doubles for badminton.
Okay.
Because it's. No.
Are people feeling this, Heidi?
I'm kind of confused what we're talking.
We have 3 sports, Heidi,
Okay.
and we have a festival,
Yeah.
round robin,
Yeah.
each of the team playing with each other in each of the sports. Got the concept?
Yeah, I know, I got that.
Okay, so then we're
We're
thinking,
choosing one sport to have to be singles.
so the idea is how do we play it so we can do 3 in 2 classes with people playing and ideally umpiring, but we haven't got enough if we have people playing to umpire. So we have 2 matches happening simultaneously. If we did 2 teams playing, the other team umpiring, it'll take a long time. Because it'll be 15 minutes,
But if you
right, in
choose
1
the,
sport.
if you choose the sport and like organize it so that like only 1 team has like 4 people out or something, then they umpire and then you rotate it.
So if we
Like
did
do like a
doubles,
round
that would
robin.
actually work in doubles.
Yeah.
We could do 2 games of doubles
Yeah.
and 2 umpires.
Yeah, and then switch them out.
Yeah? So that would work for tennis,
Mhm.
fine, and we could even do that if
For
people
pickleball?
prefer it that way for pickleball, because then we have an umpire each time.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. So this will be pickleball, would be 2 doubles playing, and tennis would be having 2 doubles play.
Yeah.
At the same time. Is that good? That work for everybody? On camera, this is what's going to happen. Right? We're leaning in towards doubles and not the singles.
Sounds good.
Yeah, if you're all happy with that, I mean, I just want the competition, right? Good, Kaz? Okay? And then when we do the badminton, we'll do that as singles,
Yeah,
right? And work that around 1 sport, rotating through. So the singles would probably be 3 singles, and then there would be 3 players left over to umpire. So it'd be 3 singles happening, and 3 players from the other teams umpiring the other matches.
Yeah.
Boom!
Boom.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Solved it! Okay,
Good job, guys.
is that good? Was that stressful?
No.
No.
Tennis and pickleball, we're doing
I'm just getting you to think like a teacher.
Guys, should we dress up for it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, great, thank you.
Like not dress up.
I will,
Sorry.
based on your ranking, can you put your team name at the top?
Oh, that's fine. We're-
Team name at the top. I will make up a schedule, and then next class we'll be able to put in your team.
Excellent.
Ready for that?
Imagine trying to
Good.
put us in a dress.
Sorry?
They played skirts and like.
For our team,
I can
Yeah.
get that cocktail.
I will give points for team spirit, don't worry.
Where are we going on Friday?
I think I have one too.
Are we here Friday?
Okay, we gotta
Friday, we are Castle, yes.
get decked out in red.
Carson.
For
Yeah.
the game.
Castle tennis.
Paint our entire bodies red.
All right,
Okay, now.
okay. Any questions on schedule, rankings? Maya, is that good?
Yes.
You'll tell Geets and I've recorded it, but you might have to explain it to them because they don't always, you know, yeah. Good, all right, excellent. So that will be happening on those dates, and then, sorry, and then the last class, I have nothing booked in. So if we've done it, we won't need anything, and that will be, it's a backup in case any of you are stressing to get something finished. The last class, you can finish it off. But I expect everybody to be done, portfolio in, finished before that class. Any of those who are doing extensions, that could be a period of time if they want to be working on extension, but I'm not planning anything for the last class.
Is our last class the 1st of December?
It will be the December
The
1st, yeah. Yeah,
The fourth
The
is
4th
Monday.
is a Monday. So.
yeah. Right, so that Friday I'm giving you, shouldn't be anything to happen in this class as long as you've done everything up to that point. Good? All right, so the last bit now, before we go into the pickleball, I want to just go over this bit. I made this awesome slideshow and I only showed you a bit of it. So I just want to talk you through this that connects to my paper. Are you ready? I need to put this somewhere where I can actually record what's going on. Here we go. All right. So with net games, so we started doing the biomechanical principles to understand the forces, which then link, as I talked about last time, the technique is an indicator. Biomechanics are the forces, but any technique is just a signpost, and any biomechanic force can be applied in different ways. There is no one way of hitting a correct forehand. It varies, right? Even when you look at pickleball right now, there's a ton of variation on how to play the strokes within a biomechanical frame. So what you're now learning is how to connect those things together. So motor learning is actually how you locate your body in a space to do something biomechanically effective. So what triggers you? All the way through this course, I've always talked about the 4 R's, getting you to read, right? Where do you go after you send the ball? That sets you up biomechanically then to do the stroke, because then you can then got time to apply the forces from your body onto the ball, right? And so the 4R model that I refer to a lot is here, and I explain it online. I'm not going to go through this, but you can just listen to me explaining what that model is and how it works, because it works in this sort of cycle. But as you go through that cycle, there's also a little respond as you react, because you're always adjusting to what the opponents are also doing, right? And so the notion of the 4R model is you're reading, but you're reading after you send a shot, and then you're reading as you make contact with the ball, right? And that's the stage where hopefully most of you are starting to get to, because you're starting to create enough time where you're not overwhelmed. And so what you've learned in my class, this is my model for it, is you're there ready, you're reading the gameplay, right? Your anticipating movement is you've gone back behind the back line, or you've gone forward to the net, anticipating the next person's ball. You've done sort of movement that you're planning based on the shot you've just done. Or I've served the ball to their backhand, and I'm setting myself up for my forehand because they're only going to push it back with their backhand. I know I'm going to get that. You're already starting to plan what's going to happen next. In all the games, right? Because you're starting to think beyond just getting the ball in the court. You then respond as the opponent makes a contact with that ball. So as they hit the ball that you've sent, based on anticipated movement, you respond, and that's when you do that little cover step. In all the videos, pickleball, badminton, tennis, they all talk about that little movement, right? In badminton, it's, you know, what is it? That step in the direction of the shot you want to go. So you initiate, your split step initiates the sachet movement, and it's always about as they make contact with the ball, or the object in that case. Then as it's coming, you react to the ball as it comes into your play space. You've got your set-up movements that come off your cover step because your body's in motion now. You're using the forces from the court to transfer into the angular momentum you're developing with the elastic energy of your body. You make adjustments as the ball comes over, and then you make impact with the ball. This is for a volley, right? At that right spot, just in a comfortable distance from the body, around about shoulder height. If it was a drive, it would be waist knee height. And as you make impact, you're also adjusting that point at the impact, because the skill part is I don't just hit it, I hit it with intention based on what the opponent's doing on the other side. Remember I told you about the quiet eye? We don't actually look at the ball as we make contact. We know it's coming, and we're looking, and the person's moving, and then we adjust slightly. So you can make a slight adjustment, or they're coming in, and you make it go a little bit deeper. So the skill is a person at that point can just make enough input to make it difficult for Cecilia, right? Because I'm reading the ball, her and the core, and what I'm trying to achieve. That's the higher level skill. Most people never get to realize that they're doing that little respond. They execute the skill in that hitting zone, and then they do that hitting zone, they manipulate the object with the racket strings, or the back, or the paddle back, and they can actually apply spin on that, or angle the racket face to change it, based on what they just read as they were making the shot coming up. Then they recover, and go back into that cycle again, with the recovery footwork that sets them up for the next shot. Every time you play a shot, you're doing that. Biomechanically, if you look at that thing, we're applying forces to create that torque when we need it on the object, and our body needs to get to the right place to do that. So when we do an analysis of that, the same idea, we've got this idea of setup. So all the movements we do before the ball comes is to optimize our stability, our weight control, that we can then shift into the shot. Remember I said that poised instability? I'm just able now to use my weight to initiate the stroke, because I'm in a position behind where the ball's going to be. Remember all of you start my class? You always were like this, and you're always running backwards. So your weight's the wrong direction. As soon as you recover back here, pickleball, tennis, and badminton to the right place, you're always moving into the shot, right? That's that poised instability, ready to hit initiate. Elastic energy is you start to load up, right? I'm moving and I'm loading up by rotating my body, giving all those angular forces ready in order to release that onto the stroke. And my angular momentum builds up from my hips, from my weight transfer, then into my shoulders, and then into execution of the shot. The ground reaction comes from what? Big time. Where's the ground reaction come from?
Balance.
What was the big one of the myths?
Gravity?
Yeah, we don't jump to hit shots. Right? Why is that? Good old Miguel said it to us. What did he say? He said?
Doesn't create more momentum.
Right, it doesn't get momentum. It comes from the ground. Right? The ground reaction force is everything I've twisted here initiates my first transfer of my weight from my back foot. So that pushes back, and then I put everything else into the stroke. Right? Or if I'm going to serve, it's coming from my back foot, and then I initiate my smash and balance it. It's coming from the core that initiates the chaining that comes to the angular momentum into my body, it becomes linear momentum into the shot. Right? So the ground reaction force is critical. It pushes the weight transfer, and then the chaining of your body then unleashes. That's why Rory's got a smash, or Heidi can hit really hard. You watch her smash, it's all coming, right? So it started here, and then she gets into her shoulders. A lot of you are just on shoulder level, right? You haven't quite got the rest of it, but you've got a smash. The next thing will be getting that angular momentum. But you have to have that bird in the right place, and that's what you've got to that stage. And then you transfer, and the lever action is at the end. I can then direct it with my wrist, with a short order lever that allows you to change the angle of the racket face or generate spin. All that happens at contact in every single racket sport. And then from there, we then go to recovery, and the impulse is losing that force that we put into it and using it from the court to get us back our stability, return to our balance. So in fact, we use a ground reaction force normally to stop us and channel that back into the court for recovery. And we start all over again. Is that good? So I put it into my little model. Looks like this. Preparation phase, winding it up, giving my elastic energy, setting up my body transfer on my back foot, moving it into the stroke, transferring forward linear momentum, and then as I execute the stroke, recovering with the impulse, using the ground reaction force to suck it back, set up to recovery. My forces now are controlling my movement. I don't lose the force, I don't have to regenerate. The better players are able to keep the same force circulating. They maximize the loss. That's why they move so quickly. And that's what you're trying to achieve now when you analyze. Good? Nice? It's a task in gym, right? The same as you did last time. But this time, I want you to change the partners in your team. Don't just stay with the same people, rotate a little bit. People might be away, we'll just adjust. Use the iPad, do the same thing, look at a pro, I put pros now, not badminton, it's going to be pickleball. Look at the prep, look at the wind up, look at the force generation. But this time what I want you to do, as you go through that phases and then recovery, same we did before, feed balls, but now, instead of badminton, we're going to do it in pickleball. So we apply this to pickleball, and what I've done here is I'm doing a forehand slice, and this is the only video I had of me doing pickleball. It's not that bad, but you can see the red ones are where I'm not really using the mechanics like the pro, right? But the good things you can see about it is I do have the ability to transfer my weight, but it's not as good as this person where the weight's already starting to go forward, right? I have got some rotation, but nowhere near as much as that unit turn he's got, and he's really planted an open stance and got a wider base, and he's using that to get that rotation. Because the pickleball court, really, this is a tennis player doing a slice, that's a pickleball player doing a slice, right? Because they're contained in a smaller court. So as I'm looking at it, I'm already seeing next time I try and wider, and I've got to get my other foot planted. Remember I was telling you, don't plant this too early? Well, here you're planting it early, because they're looking at a solid base, whereas tennis, I plant it as I make contact and then transfer it in. I've got to cover a bigger court area. So I can see why I'm slightly different, but I can also see I can get better at pickleball just by looking at that. So I lack that unit turn, but my reflection is I'm in a slightly different situation to him. He's at the baseline, I'm attacking coming forward. So that could explain why my left foot is not as good as his left foot. Though I think if I did my left foot the way he has, I'd have a better slice forehand. Right? So then if I look at the next stage, the force generation, as I make contact, he's actually coming through, he's starting to unravel his energy. Arms are up in a nice balance, see my stability, like his, right? So my body now is staying upright, and I'm hitting through that, so I'm getting that nice rotating momentum from it. My little rotation is going to the ball, but my feet aren't as good as his, right? How he's actually using the court. So he's got a lot more control in that direction, but outcome-wise, we're not too bad, and my racket is up like his. He's got a 60 frame, only a 30 frame, but actually my racket's up like his, ready to make contact. I could be lower. See how he's bent more than me? I need to get lower to the ground to get that, and then I could use my elastic energy in my thighs to get a lot more power into the stroke, but also into the recovery. But I am tracking it lower in the zone. Contact through. Again, you can see that back leg, I'm still lifted, he's still planted, he's driving off the court, he's not going anywhere, and I'm actually thinking about going forward here. So I can see my weight is starting to shift. But I have got a little bit of recovery, but I've got a stable and I've got a controlled hit, and my impulse is now dissipating nicely into my next stroke to recovery. So overall, it's an effective stroke execute, but I could gain by using my lower body and a wider base. And then I could use a lot more ground reaction force in my recovery. Done. Is that good? So what I expect for you to do is be able to do that on any stroke you choose in pickleball. And that could be your last submission, just like I've done that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right? Good. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go in. I'm going to do a little bit of pickleball dink with you, dinking like Cecilia and her partner did, right? Just to work on that. And then we're going to do a little bit of analysis in your groups of 3 with the iPads. All right? And I'll take back. Good. Okay, now, in pickleball, we work to a volley. We'll do a little bit of drive before we go into analysis. But part of the pickleball is unique to pickleball is what's called dinking. And so here you've got drives. But you're watching pickleball players, they always try and get in to the kitchen. I can volley here, but I can't volley in this area. So what happens then, we create what's called this dink. And the dink is keeping it low to the net, keeping it inside the kitchen, keeping it tight. If they don't get out of the kitchen, I can hit them, but basically I try and see if I can make an error or move it out of the way. So what we're doing now, Maria and I are going to play dink, but this one has a special rule. If you hit the marker, the body spot, you immediately get a point. If they make a mistake or miss it, goes out, you get a point. The first to get to 3 points puts a hoop, puts a thing in their score, scores a cone for their team, plays a new opponent. Right? The one little sneak is that if beginning, you're allowed to self-rally just to get used to it. But if you win the previous game and you're playing, you can't self-rally. If you lost the previous game, you can still use a self-rally in the rally if you want. Okay? So it looks like this. Serve from hand. Do it again. Serve from hand. We start. Good. We're trying it. Swap. We're always coming back. Right. That'll be a point to me. Then we start again. The idea? When you play this, think about where do I put my feet? Right? Think about how do I use my upper body and my rapid press? Where am I aiming a shot? Right? So think about those things you're doing and see where you come up. What's the best way of thinking? What's the best grip? Experiment. All right, challenge someone from the other team. Get 2 markers, 2 blue lines. Mark it up. Any court. Must be someone from the other team. As soon as you score a point, put it in the hoop.
Blue ones too.
Grab some, you got some? Get some? Got a yellow penny yet? Thanks, Kelly. Go and play now. Anybody not got a partner? Everybody got somebody?
You have a partner, right?
We can play different person.
Oh, different teams.
Play Bayer. Right? Play Kelly. That's it. That's it. Play Rory. Good. Good. Good.
You have a partner?
Perfect. Good, Ryan. 2 party spots, 2 blue lines.
I got one.
Yeah.
So it's a serve, return, and then return.
We don't have enough.
Okay, 1 roll! Georgia just came up with the roll. Brilliant serve. You can't win a point off the serve. You must serve it. Double bounce roll, bounce, return it, bounce, then it starts. Right, serve, return, double bounce roll. Off you go.
We don't have enough courts or poly spots for us.
Yeah, half court, cross court. It's cross court.
Oh.
You're playing a cross court. Cross court.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Cross court. That's it. No volley, Martin. You can't volley.
Is it a 3-10? Yeah.
You got a partner?
No, I don't.
All right.
Okay, score it, and then you 2
Did
go.
you
play.
score mine?
Yep, 1 for red. That's it. Go, you 2. Off you go. Yep. Point to hit the marker. Two things. One, to get used to it, use Okay, rotate, Rory. George is ready. Okay, still good. Quick, you need a 3. Come on, rotate. Oh, if it's out, let it go out. Don't hit it. If it's out, don't hit it. Okay, and stop! Just come on, quickly, come on. Come in, quickly. So I asked you 3 questions. What did you notice that you make you able to do it better? Come you back, anything you noticed? Yeah, the tennis thing, right? Because it's basically the racket, all you're looking at, this is actually really good, so you put it out. You're always hitting in front here. This is where you want to hit. There isn't any rotation of the body other than a little toe. The key is that now your feet want to be. Yeah, it's always wide shoulder, and you're moving along the teacher line, and you're trying to keep it tight to the net. Right? You're moving around, but this, you hit the target, you get the point. So you always try to line up, or try to make them move out of space, and use that space to make the point. The other part is your hand, when you grip it, you want it soft. So you can actually just feel it in the hand. Right? Let the wrist absorb it and accelerate with the ball. So it looks like that. So if I was with Maria's my partner, she can feed me out into the net. So she's at the net, she just sort of throw it, and I'm going to practice, just sitting right here, reading that. Just so you through it. What do you notice about my legs that they move? What do you notice? What happens? Oh. Yeah, now I'm going down the ball and accelerating. That's a deal. Now I'm going to play. Oh, right? But those again, and moving like a crab along the side, just pushing it, right? Keep the angle, brilliant. And I'll do the same for Maria. With your partner, just help them, feed them to that feel, those pointers. My knee was okay. Nice. Still in, Maya. Right. Score it.
Yeah.
Okay, rotate, new opponent. Second cast.
Wait, I already played it.
That's alright, play them again. Score it.
My rematch, I guess.
It's a rematch, just happens to be the rotation.
Okay. Yeah, I want to play on the right. I want to play on the
Now playing full court, trying to hit the marker. Actually, I'm thinking. Okay, do not stop that. Good, stop it. Stop back here, man. Right, you good? Good green. Rotate. Play a red, play Jada, play the yellow, play Mason. Yeah. Score it, rotate. To come in, yeah, come in. There'll be no one coming. Just come in and then we'll rotate as soon as they come off. Score it, rotating. Take on James, Maria. Take on Rory. Oh, take on Cecilia.
Okay.
Score. Rotate. Rotate, someone's won. Brandon, take on Madeline. Have a ball. Rory, take on one of these two. Whichever you haven't played. Maya or Ethan.
Alright. Wow, looks like you're up. You got a ball?
Get a ball, off you go. Ethan, come in. Ethan, you're taking on Brianna. Score it. Won't be me, Tyre. Won't be me. It'll be another one coming in a second. Off you go. You've got Brianne. Let's just see after the ball. You gotta get that ball you just lost. Don't get it on. Get the one you had. What ball's flying around everywhere. Okay, who haven't you played against? Okay, you decide who you want to play. Kelly or Heidi?
I lost.
Take a ball. Kelly, score it for your team.
Oh, yeah,
Another one coming. Don't toss it. Straight in the hand. Kelly, who do you want to play?
Yeah, let's go. Sorry, I was focused on this phone.
Get that net, James. Get that net, James. Good play. Remember, it's 2 points for net. Actually, it's looking good. Looking good.
I know, everyone is.
Yeah. Score it. 1 more minute.
You only have half the people their points count for twice as much.
Good point, actually.
Same.
Yeah, that's a good little bonus.
Hey, where's Yellow's bonus?
How many?
Three.
Oh, you're winning. All right. Okay, stop. Bring it in. Bring the balls in. Score it, Brianne. All right, excellent. I'll score the point for a second. Excellent. Bring it in. That was good. I was watching some of your peers at the side there. We were seeing people's movement, getting to the net and actually using the dink. If someone got to the net and they're dinking over to the dinking rally. That was good. So it was a nice little transfer. Dink is very big in doubles. If you watch any pickleball talent, you see a lot of dinking going on, just like you're doing there. So that will set you up for your desired doubles tournament. So now what we're going to do, and you don't have to stay in your team, I'm happy to mix and match. 3 people. The iPads are here. We're using the slow mode. Same as before. If you send me a picture, we're going to point. You send me a picture marked up appropriately with yellow and red, you get 2 points. But this time you're going for 3. Right?
What's the third?
Wind up. Wind up to 4th generation recovery.
Oh.
Like I showed you. Got it? So final group of 3. Come and grab an iPad. There's lots of exciting, unusual skills here for you to do. Here we go. Take it away. Brandon's group of 3, go.
iPad. I'll take you inside.
Group of 3.
Maybe I shouldn't be allowed to use this.
Play either one.